Welcome to the American Made and Paid Show, the home of free speech and independent thought.
The big story is freedom of speech is really in trouble. The far left knows that at any time they can call for a sponsor boycott of anyone they despise.
It is right here, right now, where you'll get your weekly dose of unfiltered truth.
It's non-negotiable. Pre-existing conditions will be protected. This president has said this as a candidate.
Insight.
Very few people I know could have handled it. We can never, ever let this happen to another president again.
And information that challenges the American way of life.
Welcome, everybody, to the American Made and Paid Show. I'm your host, Zach, here. Got Professor Dreg with me. We're really busy individuals, got a lot of things going on. So putting this show on, for an hour a day, every day for you guys to listen to is absolutely what we love doing. So I want to keep it as consistent as possible. I know that some of you probably listen to it and go, oh, you guys sound like you split up the episodes in one day. It's like, yeah, well, we have to, because sometimes things happen, and we want to do our best to honor the weekday times. But hey, we haven't failed. We're 40 episodes in, and we've consistently put up 5 episodes every week. People are loving it. It's great. But I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things here, but I guess it could always drift into 2 different things, because I think money making and business and how to go about doing that should be an essential part of this show, as opposed to just politics and religion, because it's called American Made and Paid. But it's funny how we've established the tone of this show in the past 40 episodes as to where we stand politically. So now I think it's actually a good time to, in some form or another, we can always jump back and forth to talk about business, talk a little bit about what it is that you do. Professor Dreg, I know you guys will ask, like, who's this Professor Dreg guy? I can't find anything on him. It's like, yeah, well, because that's his moniker. That's not his real name. But we're not going to just dox him here on the internet, at least not yet. I mean, when we get this up and running, guys, stay tuned. For those of you who've been listening since episode 1, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. By no means is this the end of how the American Made and Paid show is going to look. It's going to grow, it's going to evolve, but it's going to take time. We need to secure a venue, get the right tools, producers. All of that is in the works. So do stay tuned, because eventually we'll make a face reveal. Professor Dreg will make a face reveal. You'll be able to call in. It'll be live. It'll be actually streamed. But one step at a time. Running a podcast is, especially if there's live times, that's a whole nother beast, whole nother thing in itself. And I almost need somebody just to make sure that technically the mix is good, the audio is good, the phone calls are coming in. We're going to be able to do that, because we get consistently a couple of hundred people listening to the podcast every single day, which is great. That's awesome in itself. But Professor Dreg, we were briefly talking, right? You're in the business right now of securing investors for potentially a venue, right? Now, you don't have to name drop anybody, because I know of the confidentiality of what it is that you do. But let's talk a little bit about business, like how you go about navigating these meetings and everything, just so we're also giving the audience a little bit more insight as to what it is that you do, because you do a lot of random things.
Yeah, I'm very random. I'm random. That's good. No, but seriously, to answer that question, who am I? I'm nobody. And that's literal. I am nobody. And then the next question would be, are you nobody too? That's a poem from Emily Dickinson. And I honestly, once I read that poem when I was a kid, that stuck with me, and that's the one thing, I am nobody. And it's just, read that poem. It's freaking awesome. But anyway, and I believe that. And, and then I hate to get religious, but because this is, but it kind of ties into what Jesus was saying, like this whole thing about being nobody, helping, not the poor, but the weakest. All of this stuff is real essential. And because I'm nobody, I'm able to navigate through any political government, through any political system, and just kick ass.
Yeah.
Because I'm unassuming. I'm nobody to these people. So I pose no threat. And that's the thing. And that's the one thing, and I don't know how this ties into Christianity, but I'm almost certain that you're not supposed to pose a threat to people and all this other stuff or whatnot. So anyway, let me jump into how to buy government property that have been repossessed by taxes or some kind of shady dealing the government always does.
Okay.
For example, in San Francisco, the city gave out a multi-million-dollar loan to somebody, to some guy, and he never paid it back. over 10 years, this guy never paid back his loan.
What was this for? What kind of building? Give the audience a little bit of some perspective.
Okay, so basically, this guy because I can't even tell you the nature of his business because that'll be a giveaway,
Okay.
and that we cannot do. But this guy was given millions of dollars to go ahead because he actually owned the building.
Yeah.
But what he wanted to do with the building was remodel it so it can be, used by, himself and create this awesome business. So anyways,
Sure.
And the thing was, he built this awesome business, had it just perfect. I mean, perfect. He had everything. And what he ended up doing was he made over $100 million over like the 10-year span, and he never paid the city back a dime.
I'm sure they were on a payment plan or something, right? For his loans.
Well, he was supposed to make payments, but he just never did.
So they don't enforce it with police officers or lawyers or anything?
No, because you can't. It's a loan. It's like, what do banks do? If
when you default, right? I mean, I actually don't know this very well because I've never been in a situation where I've had to investigate missing payment. I've never missed a payment, so I don't know what it's like. Like, what actually happens? I mean, I know you probably get.
Okay, but this is why it's a scam. That's why I keep telling. See, I learned this. Like, you really got to be strict, and it's funny because the guy who pulled this off is hella ghetto. And he bought himself like a 20-story building somewhere, you know what I mean, in another city.
Somebody else just basically gave him money. I mean, it's called a loan.
Because here's the thing, and this is, and I hate to give this type of advice on
no one is gonna get this kind of information. Like, there's a lot of personal finance, self-help books out there, all that kind of stuff, how money works. All that stuff is good, but your perspective is valuable because
but it's not even a perspective. This is what we used to do.
All right.
But here's the truth. Think about this. What can a bank do to you if you don't pay back your loan? What are they gonna do? Break your arms? Be like the old Italian dudes and break your kneecap? See, those days are gone. So
they don't send the sheriff a warrant for your arrest with guns.
No, not even that. See, they don't do any of that. They don't. The cops don't come knocking on you. The FBI doesn't come. This is what happens. You can get a credit card, and $5,000 credit card, max it out, and never pay back a dime. What happens?
Your consequences.
Bad credit score.
I was going to say credit score is the only consequence, and that's if you want to go borrow more money. But all it means is you're not going to be able to borrow more money. That's it.
But you just got yourself a free $5,000.
Exactly.
But that's what happens.
It's
a lot
funny
of people.
Another guy, real quick before you finish with that, I was watching some of the sales guy on the internet, right? And he even said, don't go chasing the past. If you owe 10 grand on a credit card, dude, just stack cash because you know what? You're not buying anything anyways. You can't live like that. Literally store like 50-60% of your income in cash and store. He even said, and this is funny because he's not ghetto. He's like a businessman, right? He even said, when I was learning how to do this, how to get rich, how to make my first couple million, he said all he did was he stacked cash away and he put it in a place, not a savings account, because you know why? He says if you leave it there long enough, it'll disappear. Guaranteed. It always has. And it's not because someone broke in and stole it. It's because psychologically, as humans, you use it if you have it accessible. So he literally said he had to, like you said something last week where it's like, oh, literally put it in a safe and bury it. Now, obviously, don't do that with cash because it just composts. It disintegrates after time. But
no, you put it in a safe.
Okay.
A metal safe.
So
like
a safe.
Somebody
right.
gets into it.
It's funny how he said go broke because technically you're cash heavy, right? It's like, don't go chasing the past. The only thing that'll happen is your credit score will be unrecognizably bad, but that doesn't matter because you're not buying anything anyways.
Yeah, and you could buy it with cash. Cash is king. Trust me on this. If you got cash, it doesn't matter what your credit score is because you got cash.
Buy your house in cash, buy your car in cash. Who cares? Don't borrow money.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. Like, you could honestly,
it's
because I hate to say
it's funny because Dave Ramsey even is just like, it doesn't matter. Just, well, he says pay off your debts, but the thing is, he's like, he doesn't believe in credit cards. He doesn't believe in it. He says it's a bad product. It's a scam.
People, okay, so this is the only thing they can do to you is, and actually one bank did do this to me. This is why I know. They could write it off as income. So they'll give you a W-2. So you just fill it out, and then you got to pay taxes on like real income. But out of the because I did this, and yeah, I'm not going to say the amount of money, but then again, it was such a long time ago. They have no recourse. The statute of limitations already over.
I will pay the IRS before I pay the bank back.
No, but that's the thing.
That's the thing is the IRS will put you in jail. Like they will flat out.
Well, yeah. See, they can do that. See, the IRS can do that, but the county government can't. Like the city of San Francisco, they can't arrest anybody.
Okay, so finish your story about this guy, because now we can tie it back.
This is what's happening now. So the city repossessed the building because that's the only thing they can do. You don't pay back your loans. What happens? If it's a car, the car gets repossessed.
Right.
And this is why. Well, I guess I could say this. People like Chase Bank, like the big banks, they're slowly phasing out auto lending because a lot of people have been doing this. Like they get out this, they take out a loan, and then they junk the car. Like they literally they'll get a car loan for a fancy car. They drive it around for a month or so just to wreck it, and then they say, "F you, I'm not going to pay it back." And then Chase is sitting with a big giant car note and a wrecked car, because even repossessing the items is not enough to recover the losses. So in this case, San Francisco repossessed the entire building, even though the building didn't belong to them. But because there was a $6.5 million loan, they could repossess the construction and the property. So that's what they ended up doing. So now this building is for sale. And here's the thing. There's a website called Bid for Assets with the number 4. I thought you said don't reveal that. I've seen that. That's where you buy these deals. Well, see, you can't buy this property on Bid for Assets, but just so I can I'll give out that website only. Why? Because people need to know what happens on a tax lien. So when you don't pay your taxes, instead of going to jail, which they can't do, only the IRS can send you to jail. But if it's a county or city lien or something like that, what they end up doing is repossessing, or they can sell your property to get whatever it is that's owed to them. So like if you and to just to check to make sure that we're not lying, you can go to Bid for Assets, and then you can see a whole bunch of properties for sale. And the minimum bid, it'll say minimum bid is like, let's say $3,500. That's the minimum bid, because why? That is what is owed in taxes. So out of that so if you bid $5,000, $1,500 will go to it'll probably go back to the person who owed the taxes in the first place, and the $3,500 stays within the county. And then Bid for Assets, the website, they get their fee. But anyway, so if you're dumb and then you pay full price on an auction, that's really stupid. But in this matter, it's millions of dollars. So it's not going to be on Bid for Assets, because no one's going to bid that kind of money on a Bid for Assets. So what's happening now is the city has this private thing, like it's a private auction that it's made public, but it's not going to be put on a public website. So what happens is the city shops it around and says, hey, look, this building is for sale. So they'll go to somebody like Google. Right. They'll say, hey, Google, would you like to buy this building? And they try to make a deal with Google. But that is illegal to do. You can't just get a corporation and say, hey, we want to sell you public property. It has to be open to everybody. So with my investors are from another country, and they are most likely Hindu, I think. Either that or Sikhs, I don't know. But or they could be Muslim. I don't know, like, because Indians tend to be what? Either Hindi, Sikhs, or Muslim if they're Pakistani, which is just Indians who are Muslims. But anyway, and this is what I was trying to explain to these people. I was like, the city cannot work directly with Google. They can't. because it's a public property, they have to open up the bidding process to everybody. And the
Right.
max, like whoever wins, because it's a silent auction type of a deal. So if I put up $10 million on a bid and Google gets it for like $7 or $8 million, I could then go ahead and sue the city for like it's called a breach of fiduciary duty.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do it like that. I can get them for wage income loss for like the next 20 years and for all the stuff I wanted to do. So the city has to open up publicly. And if they don't, and if they don't honor the maximum bid, they're in a world of trouble. And and this building would be awesome to own. And that's why we're going to put these bids out there like that. So that way, even if we don't get the building, we'll have a nice lawsuit and just like quadruple our money and then buy a building somewhere else and build out what we need to do. And boom, we got our business.
Right,
But that's the process. So, if you really want to learn about money, and we talked about this before, the best way to make money is through other people's miseries. Seriously, when the stock market crashed, that's when you start buying stocks. If you believe in stocks, you know what I mean? Because I would never buy stocks. But I do this. Like,
you're interesting, because there are some people who have done very, very well who don't believe in stocks, but they buy real estate like crazy because they know it'll be there in 5-10 years.
Okay, but I'm one of those people who believes in real estate, because you can make money off your land. No, like seriously, like so I hate this because I don't want to give information away
for free. Yeah, you're giving a lot.
But one of the reasons why I want this building is because it comes with a parking lot. Are you kidding me? That's just like, man, there's a parking lot. That's like free money.
In San Francisco, that's a gold mine.
Anywhere in California, storage of a vehicle is a lot of money. Like seriously, if 500 cars go in there, giving me, $20, that's $2 million every single year cash. Just straight up cash. And that's why the city, this is what sucks about San Francisco. There is a 30% sales tax on all parking garages in San Francisco. The state sales tax is 9%. But if you own a parking garage, it's 30%.
Oh.
That's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But it's because it's free money. Think about it. How many staff do you need to run a parking garage? 1?
0, 1?
Yeah, yeah, but now it is 0 because they got those stupid machines that do everything.
Automated, yeah.
Everything is automated. I'm thinking, yeah, you're right. It's 0. But but in theory, the most you need is 2. The very most you need is 2, but most in San Francisco, everything is automated now. It's crazy. But can you imagine that? A 30% tax hike? But it's still $2 million. So, out of that, if you're charging everybody $20, basically the city's going to take their $5.
So you're really
more than $5. Yeah, they take like 6 because it's a third, basically.
600,000 from you.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money, but still, you know what I mean? It's still a boatload of money, and it's free cash. You don't have very little overhead, but that's why the city taxes you so much. But I was thinking about this because almost everybody who owns a parking garage in San Francisco is either Persian, from the Middle East, or Indian from India. I don't like Indian from like Navajo Indian. No. Like, I honestly was gonna do something like a lawsuit and saying how this type of tax unfairly has a desperate impact
on minorities.
Well, no, not just minorities, but specifically Persians and Middle Easterners and Indians who believe in like the Muslim faith. And, I honestly was going to do that because I thought, I could organize this and do this. Why? Because it isn't fair. I mean, it's totally unfair. Like, why are they taxing these people so heavily and not everybody? Because and you can honestly make that legal argument. I mean, because think about this. I'm not kidding you. This might sound very stupid, but LA made a deal with the homeless bums on Skid Row. I don't know if you know anything about LA. LA, there's Skid Row. It's like this big section.
Sure.
By in the Alameda to like 2nd Street. It's a whole, like a big ass thing. It's Skid Row is not just one street. It's a whole entire area. So the city agreed to pay these bums $650,000 for stealing their crap. Like every once in a while, the city comes in and throws away everything to clean up the Skid Row. And so anyway, but then, like a few lawyers got together back in 2016. This has been going on for 3 years, and suing the government for stealing their stuff, which is true. But come on, those big ass refrigerators and couches, they're all rat infested. You gotta throw that crap away. But little things like your medications and things like that, they shouldn't have thrown away. Like the cops, they should have known better. Hey, look, that's a prescription. You know what I mean? They're mentally ill. Don't throw away their medicine, but you could throw away the couches that are all dirty.
Right.
Don't throw away their tents, but just, but throw away anything that, like a knife or something that you could hurt somebody with. Anyway, so the cops, they sued a couple of cops and the city of LA for doing this to these people. One guy, his name is Congress. He doesn't even have a name. His name is Cangress, Congress.
Yeah.
So Congress and a couple of his homeless buddies sued the city, and he won. He he didn't win. I mean, it got settled, but $650,000 is what they're gonna get. But most of it is going to the attorneys. No, but it's true. Like the bums probably get like $1,000, and then the attorneys get the rest. But that's why you become an attorney, but it goes back to what I was originally talking about, was making money. See, now the reason why stocks are a bad buy is not because you don't make money with stocks, because if you buy during the crash, when it was really low, you already doubled your money, tripled your money, because it's skyrocketed.
It's only going to appreciate from there once it goes.
Yeah, so but here's the negative about these stocks. You have no control over that business. You don't. If the business decides to do something illegal, you can't stop them. Therefore, your money's always at risk. Yeah. I believe this. I really do. You always have to have 100% control of your money and how you make your money.
Man, see, what you said right there is exactly what some of these gurus who kind of go against the grain a little bit preach about, just being these are real conservatives, by the way. They're just like, no. Get, you always want to be in full control of it. But also, another thing that I've heard, that why you should do real estate and stocks and everything, is that, like, I mean, to some degree, that type of stuff gets paid out in dividends. Now, of course, it depends on what you buy, right? But here's the deal about real estate. The reason why he pushes so hard for it is because, number one, you are in control to some degree. If you buy it, if area code is everything, you buy it in a good zip code, it's fine. It's always going to be in demand, right? The second thing is it gives you a drip every month. Yeah. Every month. And he was just like, the important thing here is monthly cash flow. That, you can't afford to think, oh, I'm going to get paid out in 4 months with whatever stock I invested in. And that's if it did well.
I'm going to do you one better right now. Remember what you said, the right area code is zip code. No, I'm not kidding you. Not true.
Really?
I mean, it's true, but
it's not the only factor.
No. It's your mind. That's the whole point. Like, this is why I am like totally obsessed with Christianity, because when you understand some of these stories, it really like opens you up to anything. Because remember this whole thing about making a desert into an oasis, right?
Yes.
Something like that. Something like I don't know the Bible, but I'm telling you, it's just fascinating. So I'm not kidding you. I can buy land. And remember, keep this parking garage and why I want this parking garage, because it's San Francisco, But here's the thing. I can buy like 10 acres, 20 acres, 100 acres, almost anywhere in California for like under $300,000. And I could literally build a storage facility that could hold up to like 1,000 RVs or 1,000 motorboats or tractors or fancy cars, anything. And all I got to do is market in the right area codes and say, hey, look, for $500 a month, we will store your vehicle and in a totally climate controlled area. We'll keep it clean, wash it, that whatever, what for $500 a month, this is what we'll do for you. All we got to do is pick it up in San Francisco, drive it to Timbuktu, and guess what? Now we have 500 vehicles sitting there in the middle of a desert in California, like in a place like Monterey County, right? I don't know if you know anything about Monterey County, but a lot of Monterey County is just unincorporated.
Mm-hmm.
So because parking is a premium, like a large vehicle, like an RV or a big ass yacht, because there's no places, because like you can't park that in a regular parking garage for $300 a month because it's oversized. You got to pay like $1,000 a month. But you know what? We're not greedy. We're not. We're needy. So because we're not greedy, we can do half off. We could just charge $500 a month. And if we have, because like I said, you can literally buy 30, 40 acres for under $300,000. So if you have 500 vehicles stored there, making $500 a month, remember, this is easy math. What's 5 times 5? 25. Add the 4 zeros. What do you get? You are making $250,000 a month on a property that you only spent $300,000 on.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1 month, you only owe $50,000. By month 2, guess what?
It's paid off.
Well, not just paid off, but how much money did you make? Seriously, if you bought the land for $300K and in 2 months you made $500K, your profit in 2 months is $200,000. And that's what all you got to do is know how to market and sell yourself in those zip codes, in those area codes. You don't need to buy in that area code. You just have to know how to service in those area codes or zip codes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that's what you do. Think about it. Why am I going to spend all this money to buy land in San Francisco when I can buy this, way more land and still service San Francisco?
Right.
And that's what you do. And that's why being a good salesman is very, very like key here.
Yeah.
And but see, like, these are the type of, well, I mean, you hate to say things like this because I don't know, because I don't want to make it sound like Jesus was like a money-making machine. But but if you honestly understand what the heck he's saying and his mentality with things, like, see, because here's the thing. I never understood this, like, because we talked about this before, rebuking versus condemnation.
Yeah.
We don't need to condemn anybody because we're not judges. But we could rebuke anybody at any time because, people are like, oh, I don't understand. Like, if you're so anti-gay, why do you throw gay parties? I said, because, I mean, you could talk shit to their faces. Like, oh, that's gross. Don't do it in front of me. And you know what? Like, this is the thing. When I remember having conversations about why anal's bad to a bunch of gay people. And nobody hated me. They didn't stop going to the bar. They actually liked my candor. They did. They liked having candid conversations.
Yeah.
And I remember this one dude, and he was a doctor. He's like, oh, I know why you think it's gross, because you think there's doo-doo everywhere. It's like, well, there is doo-doo. It's like, no, we all use enemas and clean up very well. I'm like, yeah, but still, all that prep for what? It don't make no sense. It's like, but anyway, but I know you get to a lot of these people because, look at Milo Yiannopoulos. He claims to be a Christian guy too. He's like, look, I'm a gay Christian. But I wonder if he's still engaging in gay sex. You know what I mean? I mean, he is married to his husband, but I wonder if they still, because in theory, look, as long as they're not engaging in sodomy, and he's trying to do his best to keep his thoughts clear, who cares who he's living with? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it could, and I just, that's why I think it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know how, like, I don't know. I don't see him any different than any other fat dude. Like, like all this, like that boxer dude who just won the heavyweight championship. That dude was a fat man. You know what I mean? Like, he is a gluttonous man. He's not sharing nothing. He's a bad man. I don't see any difference from him and Milo. It's like, do we really tell fat people, hey man, pick up a celery every once in a while? Or
well, I think that rebuking people is fine, right? But I think, like, for example, I don't have to agree with it, and we can still call it a sin for what it is. But that's really what it is. I think the difference here is when as Christians we cross the line and go, because like I got a ton of gay friends, right? I don't wish death on any of them. I don't. But the consequence for engaging in that kind of behavior may very likely be that. That's not because of me. That's because it's not right. Right? So here's the thing is that I always say is,
yeah, but why isn't it right? See, that's the whole question. And people are always going to say, why isn't it right? It's not right because you hate me. You're a homophobe. I'm like, no, I'm a germaphobe. That's why I don't hate you.
It's unclean. The same commandments that God gave to Moses about even not eating raw meat. Well, it's actually in the same chapter. It's like, because it's unclean. It's unclean, right? And that's another way of saying germs, diseases, but more so than that, I think that
or if you go back to the New Testament way, look, you don't love yourself, that's why you're playing in your butt. Sorry. But that's what you say. But but isn't that weird? Like, it's easier understood just by saying, look, if you love yourself, you don't go dig in your butt. You just don't. But that's the beauty of Christianity, I think. It's so effing simple. It's awesome. And but the reason why I brought all that up is because a lot of people run away from the city, San Francisco, or, the Bay Area. Why? Because they're afraid of it, or because it's so sinful or whatever. But I'm telling you now, if you learn how to market here, you will make a ton of money. And at the same time, you can actually help these people. And that's why I probably brought up Milo, because I honestly don't know anything about Milo other than he is a Christian and he is gay. And the thing is, and he's kind of conservative, and I think
that's fine as long as they recognize that, it's a sin. You're living in sin.
But here's the thing. I honestly believe we all live in sin. If sin is real, we all do. Mm-hmm. Whether it's, because I'm telling you now, I still think porn is gay. I just do. No, because to me, porn is just as gay as Milo is, whatever he does with guys. But the difference is you're watching versus performing. You know what I mean? Because it's like, dude, you're watching another guy. That's weird. You know what I mean? That's gay to me. But anyway, even though it's a woman, it's still gay. I'm thinking, what the hell? But anyway, but my point is this. I believe in theory, if we are all living in, because like, I'm not, because, I'm a bad man. So I told that story the other day when I let that guy, rob that girl. And I told that girl, you're lucky not to be stabbed or raped or something like that. I was like, look, man, you know what I mean? Like, I would have stopped the beating, but I'm not going to stop somebody from, because, I thought she deserved it a little bit. So, you know what I mean? I'm a bad guy like that. So, but my point is this. Yep. If we're all living in sin and doing all this crazy sinful stuff, but it doesn't stop us from doing business. And that's my point. If people learn how to market in San Francisco and service the people to make this money, when they talk to you, like the same way, and that's why I brought up the whole bar thing. When I was talking to these gay people having the parties, like we'd have lesbian parties.
Sure.
And I'd always tell these girls who thought they were men, I would beat the fuck out of you. I don't care if you come talk to me. I said, I'll treat you. You want to be like him? I'll treat you like a man. You're not a man.
There's a video on World Star Hip Hop, which is ghetto. But you remember that instance when there was a woman on a Ohio public transportation bus who berated a bus driver, like was like cussing at him and actually slapped him. And then there's a video where he gets up and basically just
uppercuts,
punches
right?
Yeah, you've seen it.
But that's the truth.
That's the truth. That's how it works. And he literally, the first words out of his mouth after doing that was, "I don't care. You want to be a man? I'll treat you like a man." And threw her off the bus. Like, you didn't.
Hey, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
And that's how you. That's
you
how.
said that. That just reminded me, and I'm glad you know that because it's. I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but it's a epic.
No, but it's the truth. But that's my point.
Epic.
Everybody lives in sin, and the thing is, I believe you should live and lead by example. If you are a good businessman, people will respect you. That's why they go and support your business. Seriously, like, 'cause I never understood this because Chop, okay. So one of my guys is Chopper, and Chop told me, he goes, you know what, Snoop? He goes, the reason why, because, that's another one of my names. He goes, you know why they go to us? They all respect us. The Armenians, the Russians, it don't matter who it is, the gays, the lesbians, they always come because we respect them and they respect us because we treat them the way we want to be treated. Yeah, I don't know if that's in the Bible, but you know what I mean? But it's kind of like those two commandments. And Chop, he's a Christian dude. And he goes, that's God blessing you. And because he told me that, he goes, and that's why we're always been successful because we don't judge them, but we're not going to turn a blind eye to what they do and whatnot. And it's the truth because, like, I always found myself lecturing people. No, but especially at the bar because I see something, I'm just going to tell them, say, hey, that's gross.
Yeah, as well. Speaking of pride, because this is something that it is Gay Pride Month, right? Whether it is
really,
yeah,
it's June.
Yeah, that's his Pride Month apparently. I mean,
no.
Here's the deal.
This is Juneteenth month for like blacks. Really, this is Gay Month now? Oh no. Okay, so there's something called Juneteenth, like Juneteenth. It's okay. So yeah, this is like a big historical thing. This is like the destruction of Christianity in the country.
Independence, Juneteenth Independence or Freedom Day? No.
Yeah, see, oh God. No,
Emancipation. No. You're right. You're right. I've heard of this. We just have a different name for it, but go ahead.
No, but okay, so Juneteenth, okay, now they call it all this. No, but that's the day they were enslaved again. That's the whole, like, they bastardized this whole history of Juneteenth because this is what had happened. Remember, we talked about this before in earlier podcasts. On June 19th, the progressives in 1920 or 1921, I forgot, but in an effort to destroy like the whole Christian movement that was behind like the black success that they've been having since ever since slavery ended, blacks have enjoyed a great economic and educational boom. And, JP Morgan was a big part of that. So on June 19th, the progressives blew up the JP Chase Morgan building on Wall Street in New York.
Yeah.
And they went on a rampage for 2 days and destroyed everything associated with blacks and economics from the 19th all the way to June like 21st or some. It took a year, but the last one was on the 21st of June in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then they call that the Oklahoma City race riots that lasted 2 days. But literally, they went through city to city throughout for an entire year. It started on June 19th, and it ended a year later on June 21st. And so Tulsa, Oklahoma was the very last black economic stronghold. So They call it Juneteenth.
Well, I got some news for you. I mean, that may be the case, but this month of June is Gay Pride Month.
Yeah, that's so weird. You know what I mean? Like, how did that even happen? Like, it was like a black thing, and now it's a gay thing.
Your reaction is
weird.
Funny.
No, because I remember like those stupid signs.
By the way, also back in the day, Gay Pride, I mean, it used to be protests. I mean, this is back in the day, but now all kinds of people just want to party, wear colors. It's like, dude, you're not even gay. Like, this is for them. Come on, like, making a mockery of yourself here. I've never understood why, and this is where progressives start to contradict each other, because white liberals, straight liberals want to party with gay people
Yeah.
during Pride months, and it's starting to piss them off a little bit. Like, it's just like,
Fuck, my God, it just fucking blows. But anyway, but going back to making money, I'm just like, because man, see, I get thrown, like, because geez Louise. But anyway, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, like everybody knew J.P. Morgan's building got blown up in June. And it took a whole year. From June to June, they destroyed the black economy. But anyway, but the whole point was they went after, and the thing is, like, all of these black businessmen that were very well educated, whatever, they were all Christian dudes.
right.
So they went after their churches. They went after everything. And that's when blacks really lost their Christian faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then they really turned to the government after that. After the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots, that was it. It was over. It was progressives won. And we've been little by little turning more and more progressive every day. Now in 2019, it's like we're on fire with progressivism. But the good thing is, I mean, look at you. I mean, I think younger people are starting to wake up and realize, like, hey, man, this debauchery is just bullshit. You know what I mean? So, and now, but the thing is like this. I believe, because, and I don't know, because I don't know Sarah Breedlove or anything like that, but I do know they were all hardcore Christians. The one thing I do know, the people like Harriet Hubman, all these people, they all were Christian people.
Harriet Hubman, is that what you just said? Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman, yeah.
Okay.
Did I say Harriet Tubman or something like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's funny.
Yeah, I do that every once in a while. I don't know. I've been working on that. But anyway, so Harriet Tubman was a Christian. All these people who honestly did good were real Christian people. Not like the phony Christian people that were leaders leading blacks to more progressive and progressive ideology.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because I was listening to Norm Macdonald, and
That guy's funny.
yeah, no, but he was on David Letterman, and they were talking, and then he goes, well, they do say that the devil's gonna be very good looking and very persuasive. He's not gonna show up looking like the devil. He's gonna look like,
well, that's the thing that I actually always never understood, because people always depict the devil as some monster, some demon with horns and a forked tongue and a pitchfork. It's like no. Every account of the devil or Satan in the Bible depicts him as the deceiver, someone who can tempt you. So, like, he's thrown out of heaven in Isaiah, right? The story of him, because he thought he was like God, and he was the most beautiful. He was the best angel in heaven. I'm serious. No, I'm like, people think he's some monster. No, he'll manifest as, like, it depends. Like, he might be like the most beautiful woman you'd ever seen, and then you're just lusting after her, or
Jesus.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not. If he was
then
a
it
monster,
goes perfectly to what I'm saying. See, because when blacks lost economic prosperity and all this other stuff, because look, Sarah Breedlove, Madam C.J. Walker, this is the same person. She had a pen name or a fake name. She was a hardcore Christian lady driving convertibles. Harriet Tubman, Christian lady, Underground Railroad, led to freedom of the slaves. Think about this. They were all Christian people. The people at A&M, Florida, Christian people. And when they stuck to their faith, they had good things. And now
God's
everybody
blessing.
worship. Well, no, but think about this. The greatest man, according to most, ask any black person, who's the greatest black leader ever?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody will say that. Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, but again, he did nothing. He advocated for laws and policies that actually made things worse. And the funny thing is, his boy, Baynard Ruskin, was a gay dude. And he was black. And now, look, Juneteenth is now associated with black gay pride stuff instead. You know what I mean? Dude, that's insane. That's an insanity to me. I'm thinking, what the hell is happening? Like, this is more real than I could even imagine. But gay pride is in June. Jesus. But anyway, but that is something to really, really consider. I'm almost almost certain with 100% absolute certainty. That's how positive I am. I'm almost positive, like so close to it, that economics is tied to Christianity. Like that is like, I think the New Testament is probably like the key to understand economic growth, economic powers, economic everything. But the thing is, it has to deal with how to treat people right. Because if we are all sinners, if we all are bad people, not that we're bad by, I guess, by nature, because I guess the whole carnal rule, like there, you know, whatever, God doesn't govern that. So if we're all living in, and I know I do, we have to learn how to treat everybody with the understanding that we have that same potential to do equally bad. But we're aware, and that's why AA doesn't work, because a lot of people don't want to recognize that they're just as bad as the other drunk.
Wait, it doesn't work? I thought it does work.
No, it works the best. It's the best form of therapy, but it only works 30% of the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and the reason why people, and it goes back to the Christian leadership failing everybody, because here's the thing, like, I don't want to, okay, God, this is going to sound god awful, but it's the truth. When I see a gay dude, because you mentioned something about that, I remember you telling me this about white dudes who date Asian women. It's because they think they're better than Asian men. Right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, I think I'm guilty of this too, because I am smart enough not to play in my ass. So therefore, I think I'm better than gays. You know what I mean? Like, gay men.
That's a bit of a jump. Like, you recognize that it's not something that's right, you know, and you know the why. So why does that make you better than them? It just make you
No. Because it's just innate in all people.
Huh.
It's just like, that's why whites think they always pick up on Asian chicks, like those kind of white guys, because they think they're better than Asian guys. But it actually applies to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We all think we're better than everybody else who's not like us. So if you have this deformity, I think I'm better than you because you have this deformity.
Yeah.
I don't play in my asshole, therefore I'm better than you. You know what I mean? And it's just something like that, but it's not like I
think you're right. That's an innate part of human flaws, because here's the thing. We hire, you know, good looking girls for jobs that they're not qualified.
No, but you know what?
The other way.
But it's the truth. That's what we do. But the thing is, like, and I think it's a failure of Christian leaders. See, because not everybody's an alpha. Not everybody can be an alpha, because that's why I can't be an alpha, because I think I don't care about the weak. I don't care about people who play on their butts. I think they deserve it. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to help them out, I go, you got what you deserve, nigga. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and that's why I'm thinking, oh, crap. Yeah, and I know you got to go. It's a hard break. But,
yeah.
Oh, man. But see, but that's it. Anyway, so tying back to economics, I'm telling you, it's tied with that Christian Bible, because that Christian Bible teaches you not to think you're better than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing, because I'm telling you now, because it's, but I think I'm better than not just gays, but almost everybody. You name a group, I think I'm better than them. Why? Because I am better than them. I can prove it. But I shouldn't think that way. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I mean, but when it comes to business, I put all my prejudices aside because I love money. You know? So, and that's the thing. So I'm thinking, if anybody was to get anything out of here, look, put your prejudices down, try to market, try to make money. Because we hate the government, but we can make tons of money off the government once you understand tax liens and all this other stuff. Because we are not islands. We are supposed to work with other people and be a part of a community. And if we don't learn how to work within that community, we'll always be broke. But like you said before, we need to buy land so then you can turn that land into something marketable for everybody. You don't buy land and just sit on it and do nothing with that land because it's not going to do you any good. It's just,
Right.
but
That makes
anyway,
sense.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I appreciate you saying that, and we can cut it there. But guys, American Made and Paid, when we talk about investments, when we talk about helping people, it's all tied together. So I hope you guys all got something out of the show. Like I said, Professor Dregg's working on some big things. We got some plans for this show as to where it's going to go. So stay tuned to it. Thank you guys for always listening in and, hearing us ramble on for an hour or so. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Take care, guys.